At church, nobody would lock their cars, and they would leave the keys in them.
Yeah.
So the high school kids would sneak into the lot while church was going on, steal a car, drag race it, bring it back, and park it before church was out, and never get caught. High energy intro. Hey, welcome to the garage. I'm Greg, and if you couldn't tell from the intro, this is a Member Monday interview with Steph, who is probably one of the raddest people I've met in Cleveland so far.
Well, thank you.
We got some Cleveland beer going on. I got a Masthead IPA.
Nano from Market Garden Brewery.
Nice. I've never had this. Oh, I'm digging it. That's sweet. So I came into the garage maybe like a month ago, and I saw on the number one stand here a frame and an engine that was painted black, and I was like, wow, that looks really good. And I didn't think much of it, and I left. And then I came back in maybe like just a couple weeks later, and there was this like fully assembled, amazing, beautiful bike, and it just totally like blew me away. I learned on Facebook that you acquired this through the MotoGo.
Yes, through the MotoGo benefit that was back in February of last year, and their first benefit for the mobile shop class.
Nice. So you actually had to bid on it.
Yes, silent auction, but yes.
Silent auction kind of thing. Okay, awesome. And you got to check out these before pictures. They're insane. Like, just the job from before to the end is awesome. One thing that I noticed right off the bat was the paint job. It's gorgeous. And do you do this for a living? Like what?
I do not do it for a living. I'm an insurance broker for a living.
Hey, all right.
As a hobby, I've painted a number of cars, and I've always wanted to do a custom paint job. And so it's been bouncing around my head. The lace paintwork that was done on it, I've loved that paintwork since growing up. I used to read the Hot Rod magazines and so forth. And every once in a while they do an issue on the lowriders. And the lowriders, the paint jobs that those guys, I'm not into lowriders, but the paint jobs that those guys put in those cars were just out of sight.
Yeah.
And lace is a big thing in that culture. So
wow, I did not know that. So how did you get into just like restoring cars?
I've always had an interest in cars since I was a kid. And in high school, which is one of the attractions to Skidmark in the MotoGo program, is I took a number of shop classes in high school, auto body, auto mechanics, machine trades, wood shop, all the stuff that was available to you. Never really wanted to make a career of it, but I learned a lot there, and I just played around as a hobby. Then I stepped away from it for a long time, build a career, build a house, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
And then got into it as a hobby for cars about 20 years ago, and I've built 5 cars now, and I painted 4 of them, and so I just wanted to get to, and they're just so large, they take so much time, they take so much money. So I came across Skidmark here at the walkthrough at the Ingenuity Fest the summer of 18, and then friends reminded me of this later in the year, and there is a business opportunity that I've developed that came up, and that was the beginning part of this year, and they reminded me that there was a benefit coming up on the 19th of February for this, and I came here, and lo and behold, here we are.
Man, such a quick turnaround, like on that. So, do you have a space that you work on cars?
Just my garage.
Your garage.
My garage.
And you've been doing this here in Cleveland?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
That's awesome. So the other thing I learned, which was crazy, is you live right down the street from me, which is insane. I came in here and I was like, oh my gosh, you live like really close to me. So the other thing that we have here is we have a pizza going on. This is Mama Santa's in Little Italy, which is an awesome spot. I definitely like that place too. So this is the 57 MGA.
Correct.
Amazing. Such a cool car.
Mm-hmm.
How did you acquire that?
That's actually a friend's car, and I just helped him get it up and running. It had been sitting in his garage for about 25 years, and it's in decent shape. And he just wanted to sell it, and asked me to help him out with that. And I figured that the best value for the car would be to have it running and driving, and which we did that. There was the motor was not seized up or anything. And the brakes were, of course, all completely shot. So I went through, redid all the hydraulics, and gave it a bath. And we just sold it on Thursday, and it's on its way to New York City on Monday.
Wow.
So
that's recent too. Holy cow. Man, you got a lot of irons in the fire.
I'm trying to get a few of them out of the fire. And
holy cow. I want to see this Austin Healey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. That is a 56 Austin Healey 100.
Yes, correct.
Look at the chop job on the windshield.
Yeah, that's factory. It's
that is?
Yes, it's got a folding windshield for racing purposes. These are in the days when you would drive the car to the racetrack, maybe change tires, fold the windshield down, and go race the thing. So and then drive it home.
That is awesome.
A little different than the way they do things today.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
That was my first car. Bought that in 1999.
Wow.
And it was in a storage facility warehouse in St. Louis, Missouri since the blizzard of 1977. And the prior owner was using it as a daily driver. He bought it in 1962. Wow. And I bought it in 99. And I drove it for about 10 years, just in the beat-up condition that it was. And then I took it apart and restored it, complete frame off, body off, rotisserie restoration. And I had to do a little bit of frame repair and rust on it, but it wasn't very bad. I've done much worse. And I painted it the original color scheme, completely original. The engine was not taken apart because it was not necessary. The car runs fine. It's not a car you're going to put thousands and thousands of miles a year on.
Yeah.
And the prior owner told me that the last time the engine was apart in any way, shape, or form, he was driving through Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he drove it from San Diego to St. Louis a number of times.
Wow.
And the head gasket blew as he was going through Albuquerque, New Mexico. So he pulled into the shop of Bobby and Donnie Allison. And in their stock car racing fame from the early days, and either Bobby or Donnie were the last people that was inside that engine.
Oh my gosh!
So I had no reason to take it apart and left it that way.
That's nice, yeah, absolutely.
So that car actually is going to be. I'm sending the contract in on Monday to consign it to the RM Sotheby's auction in Scottsdale in January.
Nice. So, yeah. Okay. What else do we got here? Oh, I love this because I love these. This Land Rover. Mm-hmm. Oh, you called it. I think on the email you called it your ugly child.
Yep. It definitely is. That is a very ugly vehicle, but that's exactly the way you would expect a Land Rover to be.
Yeah.
And I got it out once this year. There's a small mechanical issue I have to deal with on it. I just haven't had the motivation to do. I've got to have the rocker shaft rebuilt, so which entails taking the valve cover off, and it's really not that bad, just way too busy. But anyways,
yeah, I
had it out once this year and got it up to its axles in mud, and really wet mud, and it was able to pull itself out in four-wheel low reverse. So it's a diesel. It just smokes and smells, and it's just socially unacceptable, which is absolutely perfect for that car.
That's awesome.
And that was found on the side of the road in Los Cerrillos, New Mexico, and it was the owner's property, but it was just out there. It's
yes,
it's like Breaking Bad.
Exactly. How do you come across these?
A friend of mine and his wife were just out driving around. They're staying in Santa Fe. Cerrillos is about 20 miles south of Santa Fe, New Mexico. And they were just out driving around, saw these. He bought one as well. His is uglier than mine even. I saw them sitting on the side of the road. We paid $900 a piece for them. Mine did not have an engine, did not have a hood, a number of other things. And so we shipped them home, and about probably about a year later, I came across a Rover diesel engine on eBay,
Okay.
and bought that, put it in, fired up, and yeah, it's just it's a fun vehicle to drive.
Sweet. 65 Land Rover Series 2A.
Yes.
Wow. Let's see. What have I? Austin Healey 3000
Yes.
63.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, that was my first car that I restored. That's a custom color combination. The style of it is the two-tone style is the same.
Gotcha.
But that's Nissan colors from the late 90s.
Huh.
And I think it fits the car very well.
Yeah.
And it was a fun car to drive. I probably put about 15,000 miles on it in the years that I had it. I did an event, God, this is 10, 12 years, oh no, probably longer that ago now, called the British Reliability Run, which was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing because British cars are not known for their reliability. So it was 800 miles in 2 days. And
Wow.
yeah, and then round trip to Massillon to start. So that was a brutal day. 12 hours in that car was really beats the hell out of you. So anyhow, that too, I wasn't driving it that much anymore, and it was getting to the point where it really could have used a full re-restoration again. Again, being your first project, not everything was done to the skill that I expect of myself now.
Yeah.
So I put it up for sale last year, and lo and behold, a foreign buyer bought it, and it now resides in Lyon, France.
Wow.
So hopefully it's getting some good driving days in on some nice alpine roads,
Nice.
and really the new owner's enjoying it the way it should be.
So cool. Oh, I got to talk about the Bug because my buddy's a huge Bug nerd. Oh, the 59 VW Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet with the rag.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. That's done to a Concours level. Correct factory color, matching rag top, which is very difficult to do. It's got the correct 58 and 59s, had a unique interior that there's only like 2 people that do, which of course makes it ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
But I had to spend the money on it. Mm-hmm. And that car took about 4 years to do because the whole bottom 6 inches of the car had to be replaced.
Yeah.
Completely cut off, weld new metal in. The prior owner had tried to do a job, and they did it so poorly. They overlap welded everything.
Yep.
And there was no way a door was ever going to close. So, but that's a fun car. It still has a lot of little fine-tuning things that need to get done on it. But maybe over the winter time when I get bored, I got a nice heated garage where I keep it at. So and maybe actually be going there tomorrow, if not next weekend.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's a fun car. But man, 36 horsepower, just it's not a Healy.
I know. My buddy Mike is huge into V-dubs. He has a bunch of buses, and that's the thing. Like, he's always redoing all of the underpan stuff. It's all rusted out. I showed you the picture. I'll probably throw up a picture of it. It's that rusted out bus. It's a panel van with a split window in the front.
That's
but
cool.
it's a super cool V-dub that he has. And it's always funny. I've gone on maybe 3 or 4 rides with him, and I swear, in 3 or 4 different VWs, and we've broken down every time. Or no, MGB.
GT, yes.
Yeah, the GT.
Yeah, that I actually bought before I bought the Beetle, and I was going to do the Beetle as a for-profit venture, but then I kind of fell in love with it.
Oh yeah.
And it took so much time to do it and everything, so I kind of stepped away from this MGB. Basically got that car for free.
Oh wow!
It had the rocker panels and the sills on that car are basically tubes, and there's a metal piece that goes on the middle of it, and an inner and outer rocker, which is nice and strong, but it also is in this climate fabulously rusty. So that had to be completely taken apart and redone, and I did that. The doors closed nicely. The nice thing with working on a hardtop, it wasn't much concern about the body losing its integrity when I cut it apart.
Okay.
And then a number of stylistic mods I've done to it, but the big thing is that it's going to have a small block V8 in it, aluminum V8 in it with an automatic transmission, and it'll have about a 10 or 11 to 1 horsepower, weight to horsepower ratio now.
Wow.
Where from the factory it had probably about a 4 to 1.
Yeah. Hey, so Steph tells me that she misspoke right there. She actually meant that the car comes from the factory with a weight to horsepower ratio of 20-1. And her finished restoration will end up having about 10-1, so quite a bit more nimble.
So that's going to be a lot of fun to drive that car.
That's sweet. Are you looking mostly at like original paint jobs? Are you
For that car,
no.
no. That car, I'll be doing something custom on it.
Yeah.
What I don't like about this car, and there's no way to really change it, is that around all those windows, there's some sort of bright work.
Okay.
Aluminum or stainless or something of that nature. And there's really nothing you can do about it. It has to be there. You can't. Black chrome is very, very hard to do. Excuse me, apparently. So right now, and that car's been sitting there for so long, I've had like 5 or 6 different color combinations in mind, and then I evolve into something else.
Yeah.
So the latest one is just something muted, a gray or something like that. That's not going to really clash. Something to make that bright work go away.
Yeah.
Without going away.
Gotcha.
And then just basically a very conservative, very muted car with that, and it's not even going to be a high horsepower engine, but just something that's really kind of wicked because the car weighs nothing.
Yeah.
So and have it just be kind of a sleeper. So which would be kind of fun.
Sweet. Yeah. My dad he grew up in Wisconsin, and then when he was a teenager, he moved down here to Millersport. And I've heard stories. He never told me these stories, but his friends did. At church, nobody would lock their cars, and they would leave the keys in them.
Yeah.
So the high school kids would sneak into the lot while church was going on, steal a car, drag race it, bring it back, and park it before church was out, and never get caught.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, he did some work. He had kind of a situation kind of like this. There was a local shop that allowed them to come in and hang out after hours and work on cars.
Oh, nice.
And stuff. He had like an old Falcon Futura, Ford Falcon Futura.
Yep.
When I was like 16, we went and looked at one. He was like, "Man, I want you to have this car, but I really don't want you to have this car."
Yeah.
But
You'll kill yourself.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
The red one,
The other Austin Healey 3000, the 2-seater.
That was a car that you couldn't do this anymore because the parts were just not available. That car was in a barn fire, and the original car, really the original car in that finished product, the only thing that was there is the rear axle and the internals of the engine. Everything else I got elsewhere because the car just melted.
Wow.
The center of the car is aluminum, so that just melted away almost immediately. And then it's amazing what fire will do to metal, and it just needs to get a little bit of moisture on it. It's shot. You can't ever use it. So I was able to find a frame, the body, spare motors. But back in those days, that was probably 2004, 2005. I started that project, and Austin Healey parts were available all over the place. And I bought like 8 cars that I scrapped to get the parts to build that car. So it was very profitable. I made a lot of money on it.
That is so crazy.
That actually is like a 1952 Ferrari color.
Yeah.
So So it now, last I heard, it's still in California somewhere.
Nice.
It was a great driving car. It's just my stylistic part of me is that I always wanted a 3000 2-seater. Then one day I was walking out of my house right over there on the left, down towards the car, in that exact angle, but the roof was the convertible top was down on it.
Okay.
And I just looked at it and I said, I don't like it anymore. So I sold it. So,
it happens like that. Yeah, always.
And after I sold the car, it was about 2 years after I sold the car, I finally figured out why I didn't like it. And it's such a small thing, but from a design standpoint, people who design and know how to design things, there's a skill to it.
Oh yeah.
And there's some innate ability, but there's also skill that can be taught to it. And I have no training in that regard. But the white car and this car, from the back of the doors to the back of the car, is the same dimensions. But when they made the 4-seater cars, they shortened the trunk lid.
Oh wow.
And so on this car being a 2-seater, the distance from the leading edge of the trunk lid to the cockpit is so big, and on the white car, the trunk lid is so much bigger, and it sits down in a little lower because it was never designed for 4 seats. And it's like, oh my God, that's why I don't like it. It's just that the body line was in the wrong spot. It's sitting up too high.
Yeah.
And it's just something so small like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I couldn't.
I have the same problem with the BMW makes those Z4s
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
The hard top coupes.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
The convertibles, I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't get into them.
Yeah.
It's like that hard top line is just so perfect for that car.
And that's a love it or hate it car. I love those M coupes too. But the most people hate them.
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. So, oh man, we got to get back to this GS550.
Okay.
And so this winter, I would like to start with the Motogadget M-Unit, and I really like their controls, the 3-button controls. I think you have the 3-button ones on there.
A 2-button and a 3-button.
A 2-button and a 3-button. And then all that stuff. Motogadget has this really cool little M-Unit that links to your phone. It controls the whole system. It's super, super cool. How is that going for your build?
It's going well. It's going slow because my first time doing this and customizing a wiring harness. But there's a lot of information available from Motogadget, online, Pinterest, so on and so forth. You can find all kinds of wiring diagrams. So I'm almost through, and actually tonight I might actually be able to put power to it finally and see if I can get the lights to work and all that kind of good thing.
Nice.
But it's super simple, and it's one of those things that I may just be overthinking it as far as how to wire it.
Yeah.
The charging systems of cars or bikes or whatever always confuse me. So I think I'm good with that. And then the ignition system is a little confusing as well. But the actual Motogadget part of it is very, very simple. It's super high quality stuff.
On the whole project, what do you think was like the hardest part of the project?
Probably just getting some of the design lines right. Some of the cosmetic work was a real pain, and using some tools that I hadn't used before.
You did all the welding and everything.
Yes.
Did you chop the frame up at all? Did you
shorten the frame by probably in the back by probably.
It's your hoop on the back too.
Correct. Yeah. Probably about 6 inches shorten the frame. I attempted, it's off now. I had a front fender that I had shortened, and it looks horrible. The shape of it just went way wrong. So just taking it and shortening it a little bit this way, it just changed the whole shape of it. So
gotcha.
I do have some other ideas for a fork stabilizer versus having a fender on there. So So with the making the electronics tray was a pain, and trying to squeeze everything into that was in that whole triangle area before.
Yeah,
so.
that's my thing. That's gonna be my thing too. I probably have to redo an electronics tray, make it a little bit deeper. It's everything is squeezed in there as tight as it can possibly go right now, and it's a rat's nest.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part on the bike?
I would have to be the gas tank. It's a GS550 gas tank, and it's probably about 4 inches longer than the GS550 tank. And the 1980s tanks, the tanks that was on it, the tank that is on this gray bike here, they come down so low in the back. The 1970s tanks were much more bulbous and boxy. Bulbous and boxy is two kind of polar opposite things, but when you see the tank, you'll know what I mean. Yeah. And then the 850 tank is a good 4 inches longer, so it's probably a full gallon bigger than the original 550 tank. So and it just gives it a real aggressive stance, and you're going to be just straddling that tank when you're riding the thing, which is so cool. Very much in the BMW style. So I think that really, really makes the bike look really mean.
Where did you end up getting the seat?
I had the seat custom made.
Okay.
I had just took a piece of sheet metal and the tools and the equipment that we have here, the shrinker stretcher and hammers and everything. And one night I was here, and Brian and I just went to town on the shrinker stretchers just to get the thing to fold and go around the hoop, and then took it down to a portage trim in Ravenna, and with an idea in mind as far as what I wanted to do, and let them go to town on it, and they did a great job.
That's sweet. Yeah, it looks great. It looks really good. That is awesome. What was your biggest fuck up?
I would have to say at this point would be that front fender. I spent a lot of time on that thing. I probably have 6 hours, 8 hours into just reshaping that front fender, let alone the body work and the pretty work I did on it at home. And yeah, that was a complete waste of time.
Wow.
So
yeah, you run into that. You run into those things, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. What's your favorite tool?
The flapper discs on the for finishing the metal for the flat surfaces for like the fender work that I did or anything I have to do on the tank, cleaning the tank, getting the paint off the tank, because unfortunately with the methylene chloride being removed from the strippers, the modern strippers are absolutely useless. So so I had to sand it, and those things work really good on that.
Cool. And then I had favorite piece of equipment.
That is definitely the overhead crane.
The overcrane,
yeah, that is because if nobody, I get down here in the day a lot, and there's nobody else around, and if I've got to get it off the stand, or if I put the engine in, or take the engine apart, or whatever, that overhead crane is just absolutely critical.
It's the first thing I used when I got here.
Okay,
I had to redo the front end, and Brian's like, just throw the strap around it, haul it up, and I was like, the only thing that I hate is I feel bad because I'm tying up the crane, like. I knew that front end was going to take me a little while. I have 2 daughters at home, and it's like I trying to fight for time to get over here.
Yeah.
But I tried to keep it like under a week and maybe like 2 weeks. But my bike was just kind of hanging there for like 2 weeks, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Because I also have my headers come down, and just like yours.
Okay.
I mean, it's really hard to get anything underneath the bike or to even support it because I don't have a center stand either. Mm-hmm. And do you have a center stand that you're gonna? No, you're just gonna leave it off. That's cool. So do you ride?
I do. I have actually I have 4 bikes.
Wow, nice.
So I have a little Suzuki GS550 at home.
Okay.
And I haven't. I rode dirt bikes when I was a kid, so I never got my license. So one valuable piece of advice that Brian had given me earlier this year was to take the motorcycle safety course. Mm-hmm. So I took that, and it was worth every penny. It beat the crap out of you, but it was well worth it. They taught you so much more than you need to learn to pass the exam.
I had the exact same experience. I grew up going to Honda Hills, which is motocross. I think. I started out with like a Honda 50 when I was super young, and then I worked up to like a KX80 and then 125, and then I think I got on like a 275 or something, and I let that clutch out and I flipped the thing out from under me, and I was kind of like, I think I'm good, with that. And my parents were definitely like, okay, you're like nothing higher than that. Yeah. So I didn't ride at all, and then just last year I got this bug in my head that I wanted this bike, and my buddy works for Harley Davidson in Columbus, the 80 Faro. Okay. And he put me into their class, and it was worth it was awesome. Yeah. It was great. It was really good.
So I've ridden the 250 a fair amount, and just getting the feel of it and everything. Getting out in traffic the first time was terrifying, and that I rode in the rain a little bit a couple weeks ago, and that was a little terrifying. Of course, when I'm in the middle of that ride, I was like, oh crap, these tires are kind of old and probably kind of hard, so I better behave here, really. Yes. But you can't get in too much trouble with the 250. It has a whopping 20 horsepower, I think. So so I have that, and then I just picked up another GS550 last week. And that's going to be another custom, and then I have a 54 Norton Dominator that I'm going to start restoration on any day now. So
sweet. So is this like let's sell it right away, or
this will probably be a keeper. I'll probably ride this. So it's my first bike, so it's going to take a while to sell the first child.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool. That's all. I'm glad because you're on my street. We'll have to go riding. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So. I have. Will you please continue to be a part of this garage? Do you I feel like you must have space at home, right, for cars and stuff. Right?
I do, but I don't have any heat. That's a big part of it.
Oh yeah.
So but no, I'll definitely be. I just renewed my membership today, actually. Nice. So definitely be a part of it here. So and even if the business that I'm going to be starting takes off, it's worth it to remain a member here just for
Yeah,
like some of the metal fab.
It's Chelsea Moto.
Chelsea Motor
Chelsea
Works.
Motor Works.
Yeah.
Chelsea Motor Works.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
So now that I'll get trained on the South Bends and the Bridgeport and the bandsaw and
That
everything,
whole area is going to be so awesome.
Absolutely,
I can't wait.
yeah.
I took the welding classes,
Okay.
and I've taken some of the Knoble Moto
Okay.
classes.
Yeah,
He was just here today helping me. He actually does like a traveling mechanic. Like he was helping me diagnose my bike and just
good.
kind of see what was going on with it. And
Yeah, and actually with the welding equipment here is great. I taught myself very basically how to TIG weld a week or so ago. So
three different things all at once. I'm horrible at it. But yeah, it's fun. That's super cool. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay.
So awesome to have you a part of this garage.
No, thank you. It's been a wonderful time, and it's been.
I'm gonna bug you with emails, I'm sure, especially about the Motogadget thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things that's just it's so complicated, but it's so simple at the same time.
Yeah.
So I just can't wrap my head around how it actually works, but that's not electronics have never been my thing. So
I'm so new to this. I hope that someday I'll be a quarter of the fabricator and builder that you are.
Well, thank you.
It's really awesome. The pizza was great.
Yes, it was.
I gotta say, Mama Santa's, you can't go wrong.
Nope.
And we got some Masthead beer and some Market Garden
Yep.
Brewery. Rock and roll. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.